Hi, today we're going to look at rounding. Now when I was in school, I learned 5 or more you round up, less than 5 you round down. I never knew what it really meant. So today let's look at what rounding really is and how we can use it in everyday life. Now I know when I'm in the supermarket, I try to keep an estimate of how much money I'm spending in all. And I do that by rounding each item to the closest 10. So if I was going to buy a ham and it cost $17, I might want to decide what 10 it's closest to. So I know 17 is a little more than 10, and it's a little less than 20. So before I decide whether to round to 10 or 20, I have to think about the halfway point. And halfway between 10 and 20 is 15. So now I can decide that 17 is a little bit more than 15. In fact, it's 3 away from 20 and 7 away from 10. So I'm going to round this ham, which cost $17, to $20, because that's the closest 10. Now I can also do this with some bigger numbers. So for instance, I might be out buying a couch, and that couch might cost $635. So now what I want to do is decide which 635 is closest to. So I know 635 is a little more than 600, and it's less than 700. Again, let's find the halfway point between 600 and 700. So halfway between these two numbers is 650. So now I can look at 635 and I can tell 635 is less than 650. So I would say that 635 would round down to 600 because it's 35 away from 600 and it's 65 away from 700. So 600 is the closest 100. Let's look at one more example. Again, let's look at some big items. So you might be buying a TV for $458. But this time you don't want to round to the nearest 100 because that gives you too big of a number. You want to round this to the closest 10. So we know that 458 is a little bit more than 450. And we figure this out by thinking about our tens place. And 458 is a little less than 460. So like we've done the previous two times, let's find our halfway point. So halfway between 450 and 460 is 455. So now I can look at my number 458 and I can tell that 458 is a little bit more than 455 and it's closer to 460. In fact, it is 2 away from 460 and it is 8 away from 450. So I would round this number up to 460. So again, when you're rounding, think about what you want to round to. Do you want to round to the closest 10 or do you want to round to the closest 100? Then find the tens or the hundreds that your number's between, think about the halfway point, and then decide whether you're going to round up or down. So yes, that golden rule of 5 or up, round up, less than 5 round down, does work. But this is the reason why.